ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا الكيل والميزان بالقسط لا نكلف نفسا إلا وسعها وإذا قلتم فاعدلوا ولو كان ذا قربى وبعهد الله أوفوا ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تذكرون.
And approach not the wealth of the orphan save with that which is better till he reach maturity. Give full measure and full weight in justice. We task not any soul beyond its scope. And if ye give your word, do justice thereunto, even though it be against a kinsman, and fulfill the covenant of Allah. This he commandeth you, that haply ye may remember.
وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْيَتَامَى قُلْ إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ وَإِن تُخَالِطُوهُمْ فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ الْمُفْسِدَ مِنَ الْمُصْلِحِ وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَأَعْنَتَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ.
And they question thee concerning orphans, say, to improve their lot is best, and if ye mingle your affairs with theirs, then they are your brothers. Allah knoweth him who spoileth from him who improveth. Had Allah willed, he could have overburdened you. Allah is mighty, wise.
إن الذين يأكلون أموال اليتامى ظلما إنما يأكلون في بطونهم نارا وسيصلون سعيرا.
Lo, those who devour the wealth of orphans wrongfully, they do but swallow fire into their bellies, and they will be exposed to burning flame.
It's a continuation of our series of the Khutbah that we were dealing with the will of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And from today, inshallah, we will be discussing the verse, chapter 6, Surah Al-Anaam, and the verse is 152. And this will be the 6th commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah. And it starts with, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا الكيل والميزان بالقسط لا نكلف نفسا إلا وسعها وإذا قلتم فاعدلوا ولو كان ذا قربى وبعهد الله أوفوا ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تذكرون. The translation is that and come not near near to the orphan's property, except to improve it until he or she attains the age of full strength, and give full measure and full weight with justice. We burden not any person but that which he can bear. And whenever you speak, say the truth. Okay, Brother Rob, this is one of the evidence when I pray before the Khutbah, that may God give us sincerity to speak the truth. So this is one of the verses where we are told to speak the truth when we say something. And the translation continues, and whenever you speak, say the truth, even if a nearer relative is concerned, and fulfill the covenant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This He commands you, that you may remember. So our topic in this verse 152, it says about the wealth of an orphan. Also it speaks about weighing and measuring when we are doing the business. And also it speaks about speaking the truth when it comes to give the witness in the case. And it says that it should be truthful witness, and the person should be speaking the truth when it comes to the witnessing, even if it is a kinship person. And the fourth command in this is that fulfill the covenant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in general, which is, normally we say Sharia law, or the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in general, found in other verses of the Quran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that this is the reminder from your Lord in the form of commands, so that you remember that. But today's topic is the seventh lecture on this subject, which is the wealth of the orphan. Wealth of the orphan, and I will stick to this point only, because when we deal with the subject related to the orphans in Islam, so as I said that I'm talking only about the wealth of the yatim in this ayah. In this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the wealth of the yatim. Otherwise, if we talk about the yatim, then subhanAllah, there is one clear hadith of Rasulullah that the sponsor of yatim, kafil al-yatim, will be with me in the Jannah like this. Okay, this is a very famous hadith, and mashallah, those people who are collecting the donations, they quote this, and even they bring those African girls and boys who don't know even a single word of Arabic, but they make them memorize those hadith, and they come on video and they read that complete hadith, that those who are supporting the orphans, they will be with Rasulullah like that. So this is, alhamdulillah, a very famous hadith, but that is general for the yatim. I'm talking about here the yatim who is not a poor yatim. A yatim who is not a person who is in need. This yatim is a wealthy yatim, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that this yatim who has got wealth, this orphan has got wealth, and as the guardian, as the wali, as a chacha or mamu, uncle from mother's side or father's side, or other elderly people, could be brother, elderly brother, could be elderly sister, who has given, who this child is, his parents died, and this brother, elderly brother, he is now responsible for this yatim and the wealth of the yatim as well. Because after the death of a father, the youngest children who do not have reached the age of puberty, they are also yatim yet now. And when the wealth is divided, these young boys and girls get the share. And now the elderly brothers and sisters are also their guardian now. So this is all it comes there. Chacha also becomes the guardian like father's brother, or Mamu also becomes the guardian as mother's brother, or also the other relatives who are taking the responsibilities of the orphans. Also, like we people in UK, we get lots of articles where the people are saying that if you sponsor this child and you look after that, then Allah will reward you, and this and that and that. These also are in the category where there were yatim who were sponsored, and later on when the yatim came to know through media that this yatim, his or her wealth is there somewhere, and this person is a wealthy person. So in that case, still you are a sponsor of this yatim. So what you have to do with the wealth of that person, this yatim, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned here. And Allah has spoken about this wealth of yatim in 3 different places in the Quran. One is this ayah, chapter 6, Surah Al-Anaam, verse 152. And then in Surah An-Nisaa, chapter 4, verse 10. And Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 220. In this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these 3 verses, Allah has given us a very serious ruling with regards to the wealth of the yatim. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. The ayah which is related to our subject, it is from Surah Al-Anaam chapter 6 and the verse 152. It says, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا مَالَ الْيَتِيمِ إِلَّا بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ حَتَّى يَبْلُغَ أَشُدَّهُ. That you should not use the wealth of the orphans, male orphan or female orphan, till they have reached the age of puberty, with the intention that you have a good intention to preserve their wealth, so that when the time comes for them to use it, they should have their wealth with them. Otherwise, it is haram for you to approach their wealth with bad intention. Now, this ayah is also related to the ayah in Surah An-Nisaa. In Surah An-Nisaa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that those people, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى ظُلْمًا, that those people who are consuming the wealth of the orphans by bad intention, with bad intention or in the wrong way, they are not eating except they are eating the hellfire, and they are filling up their stomachs with the hellfire. When this verse came, so many Sahaba who had orphans with them, and some of these orphans were not poor people, not poor children. They inherited the wealth of their parents after they died. And those Sahaba who were their guardians, after coming to this ayah number, remember this ayah in Surah An-Nisaa chapter 4 verse 10. When this ayah came, that those who are in the ladina yakuluna amwal al-yatama ظلman, that those people who are consuming the wealth of the orphans in a wrong intention, in a wrong way, they are fulfilling their stomachs with the hellfire. All the Sahaba, they went to Rasulullah. And first thing they did, before they went to Rasulullah, what they did is, they separated their clothes, their own clothes from the clothes of the yatim, their food, their wealth, everything that was belonged to the yatim, the Sahaba, they separated it completely, so that it should not get mixed with them, otherwise they fall into this ayah. But afterwards it became difficult. When you are living in a house and you are sharing toilets, you are sharing house, you are sharing kitchen, you are sharing so many things, so then it is hard and difficult to make up the account properly. There could be here and there could be mixing. Even Even like today, when we are going to the shopping centers, we are taking that device which counts every penny that you buy. Even that you make sometimes so many mistakes. Then you again count again, then again you add that. So if today in advanced technology we make mistake of making our own accounts, and we make mistakes in counting the money while we are shopping, so that is definitely is clearly understood that it is almost difficult for the Sahaba to do that during the time of Rasulullah. But the point here is something different which I want to reflect on that. That look, these are the verses when it was heard by the Sahaba, and when it came with the looking after the orphans, and when the wealth came, they were so much conscious of the Qiyamah, they were so much worried about the reality, the truth of the punishment on the Day of Judgment. Immediately they reacted to it. And unfortunately, our situation today is different. We are trying to make the children who are with the parents, we are trying to make them orphans so that we can take their wealth. And this is very common. I have been getting so many stories from our culture where people that, in our countries, in India, Pakistan, I will mention India first because people will get upset. Why Abdul Majid is saying other country first and not his own country. So I'll say one country first. Okay? In India, in Pakistan, why Pakistan? My wife is from Pakistan. Okay, so second country. Then it comes to Bangladesh and other countries. People, they have properties, lands. And those properties and lands were shared by families, brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles. And some of them are orphans, especially female orphans. Some of them are female orphans, and they don't get their rights. And who are taking that? Who are cheating them? Who are depriving them? Auntie, uncle, brothers, sisters, other relatives. And we read this ayah. We read this ayah many a time. We sometimes even listen to the translation. We also listen to the tafsir. And mashallah, I hope that you people looking at your faces, mashallah, you are serious. And after listening to this khutbah, inshallah, forget about the second wife, third wife, at least the wealth, the yatim, inshallah, please work out. Because verse 10 of Surah An-Nisaa makes it very clear that if a person is consuming the wealth of the yatim in a wrong way, then he is collecting the hellfire for him or for her. That's my purpose today. I can just finish this ayah in 5 minutes. I can translate it and finish. Then I can bring a loving topic for you to go the second wife and third wife. That will be more interesting. But no, my brothers and sisters, this is very important. Because we are in the world where we have orphans. Our brothers, our own biological brothers, when our father dies, they become orphans if they have not reached puberty. And then our father's share is there with them. This is the ayah which tells us, Abdul Majid, this is your younger brother, younger sister, and she has inherited the wealth of your father who died. You got something and they also got. It's your duty now to take care of that. Otherwise, if you are negligent about that, then you are accumulating hellfire for you. So, immediately Sahaba, first they reacted it, and they tried their solution by themselves. They wanted to separate each and everything. Okay, this is the food separated, this is the clothes separated, this is the house separated, this is the room separated, all that. Once, but it became difficult afterwards because it doesn't sound to be very practical. So they came to Rasulullah. And when they came to Rasulullah, then Allah SWT has revealed the ayah from Surah Al-Baqarah chapter 2 verse 220. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْيَتَامَى قُلْ إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ وَإِن تُخَالِطُوهُمْ فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ. This is a very clear verse that you have come to my messenger. Verse 220. you have come to my messenger asking about the wealth of the orphans. So, and you are also worried about mixing of your wealth with their wealth. So Allah has given us the solution that you can mix your wealth with them if the intention is fine, because you want good for them. You wish good for them what you wish for yourself. This is what you are. Then it is permissible. There is no harm in that. Now this is very important point here. Now this is not explained in all the tafsir. Maybe in Arabic tafsir it is available, but in translated versions you won't find this. Now, إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ and تُخَالِطُوهُمْ, these are the two words which we have to understand. Islam has given us a very detailed explanation to that. That you can mix that wealth of the orphans with your wealth. And they are your brothers. And إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ, and you wish good for them. You wish progress for them. You wish healthy life for them. Now what is that? How it is explained? So first let's understand the definition of the word yatim. Okay, this is also explained by the scholars in their books. Yatim is a person who is unable to look after the wealth that he is possessing properly, even if he has reached the age of puberty. And he has nobody to look after that. And this is very common. There are children, there are people who are born insane, but they have wealth. So that means even if they become 60 years old and they are unstable, still their wealth is there and it is their wealth, and the guardian is responsible for that. So two things. The scholars have given the definition of the yatim: age and sanity. The person should be reaching the age of puberty where he is able to hatta yablugha ashudda, till he has reached the age of puberty, means he or she has come to a position where they can understand the ruling of their wealth. And the second thing is that they are sane. They are not those people who just take the bag of money, go on the top of the terrace, and then from there they are just throwing the money out. And then people will be saying, oh, what my nephew is doing? Must be a crazy guy. So this is not something where, so these are the two things. And the person mentally stable and has reached the age of puberty, that now this person is no more considered to be yatim, and the guardians are no more responsible for his wealth. Is that clear, this definition? Now, إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ. Allah is saying that وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا مَالَ الْيَتِيمِ حَتَّى إِلَّا بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. That you are not allowed to approach the wealth of these orphans until you have a good intention. Now good intention is the part of إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ. So إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ is a permission given to you, as you can marry 2-3 wives. Allah has given us the permission to use the wealth of orphans. So this is the permission. You don't have to take the permission from anybody. Allah has given you the permission to use their wealth. Now how to do that and what is the best way to do that? Number one, not only that, there's a hadith in Surah Abu Dawud. There's a hadith in Sahih Muslim. There's a hadith in Muslim Imam Ahmad. A man came to Rasulullah and he said, I'm a poor person. But Allah has left with me some orphans which I have to look after them. But I am poor and they have wealth. What can I do with that? And I cannot look after them. And if I have to look after them, I have to look after myself as well. So Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, you can use their wealth to overcome your necessities. To overcome your necessities. Okay? Necessities not means ordering chicken, tikka, pizzas and kebab from their wealth. Okay, that's what it is clearly mentioned, that whatever way, in a simple way, you can survive using their wealth. This is for the poor person who is guardian of a yatim who is wealthy. Another hadith of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. And for your information, my brothers and sisters, mashallah, the best book directly from the hadith, the best book on the subject of how to make the best use of the wealth of the yatim is Muwatta Imam Malik. Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi, in his Muwatta, he didn't bring the hadith of Rasulullah what Rasulullah is indicating, do this or do that. He has quoted number of Sahaba, Aisha, Umar, Abdullah bin Umar, Abdullah bin Mas'ud, and other Sahaba. He quoted from all these Sahaba that they were having the orphans, and these orphans were rich orphans, and they were using their wealth for their good cause. So that is the best book that can be used for us to understand how we can use their wealth. But alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, I'm here to give you the brief of that. I can't expect you to go and read, the 400 hadith of Sahaba from Muwatta Malik, and then you stuck with that, and then you will be confused. So it's very simple. Number one, that you can use the wealth of the orphans till they have reached the age of puberty and they are able to look after their wealth mentally properly. Till that stage, you can use their wealth for their expenses, for their upbringing. Means whatever their necessities are there, you can use their wealth and spend on them. This is one thing, which includes housing, clothing, food, and education. Does that make sense? So the wealth of the yatim can be used to spend on the yatim in these causes. Okay, well-being, housing, clothing, food, clothes, and shelter, that we say roti, kapra, and makan, and then education, and the proper upbringing. This is one way of using their wealth for spending on the yatim. Second is using their wealth for your own purpose. If you are unable to, if you don't have other access and you are in need, so you can use that money for your necessities, to overcome your necessities. Like suppose you want to pay the bill and they all are sharing, the yatim are sharing with you. So you can use that money and pay the bill, which is on yourself, behalf of yourself, as well as on behalf of them. So this is a practical example. Then the other way is that Rasulullah has said, this is the hadith as well, and the Sahaba did that you have to spend the money on the business. You can buy the properties from their wealth and invest it and make the money. You can put into business, you can use that money for the buying and selling products, for making profits from that. And when they come to the age of puberty, you can give that money to them after you have taken your share as a partner. You will become a working partner of their wealth. This is a transaction in Islam. That you take their wealth, invest it in the business, so you will be a partner, but you will be a working partner for that. So you have your own share, you have your own salaries, you have your own necessities, and then when they come to the age of puberty and when they are seen in the mental stages, then whatever is left over after what you have taken your share is all belongs to them. So this is the second way of spending the wealth of the orphans. And the third one is, which is very important, if you are the guardian of a rich yatim, a rich orphan, then it is your responsibility to pay the zakat on their behalf. If you don't pay the zakat of that wealth, this yatim will not be asked on the day of judgment, you will be asked for that, because you were the guardian. And these are the best ways where you can use their wealth for their upbringing, for their business, and for the zakat purpose, and for your own need if you are in need of the wealth. So, with this, remember again, I am taking you back to the ayah of Surah An-Nisaa, chapter 4, verse 10, where Allah SWT is saying that if you eat or consume the wealth of the orphans with the bad intention, then you are not consuming except the hellfire of the Jahannam. Hellfire of the Jahannam. So be careful with that, alhamdulillah. And if you have got any other issues related to the orphans and their properties, and like you have so many family members who are orphans, like I knew that there was a dispute in the family a few years ago, and there was a girl, she was in Pakistan, and the brothers here, they didn't want to give her the share because she was from a different mother. Father was one, but the mother was different. And because the father died, and this girl was in Pakistan, and this other family, they were here. And they didn't want to give the share, first of all, two reasons. First, they said, that is a girl. They don't normally, I don't know, in our country, the girls, they don't get their, shares, which is haram. It is their right. Quran says that. Chapter 4, verses 10, 11 and 12. Quran gave the right to the girls to inherit from the heirs and the wealth that is left out by the father or the mother. Okay. So, this was one reason they don't want to give the share to the girl, because it's not from the culture. हमारे खानदान में लड़कियों को नहीं देते कुछ भी. We don't give to the women in our families. So this was one reason. And then second reason was that she is from a different family. Her mother is from a different family, so she won't get anything. And subhanAllah, the case came to me, and by the grace of Allah, nothing great from myself. I read these verses to them, and I told them that subhanAllah, what do you prefer? You prefer the Jahannam and the hellfire for you and depriving this girl from her right? Or you want to get more blessings, because when you use the wealth for good cause, it will bring blessings for you. So, alhamdulillah, the elderly person, a very strong person in the family, he made the decision. Shaykh Abdul Majid, he had to be very strong, big guy. And he said, Jazakallah khair, and I will sort that out. And mashallah, the case was done. So this is what I'm saying, my brothers and sisters, we as Muslims, we believe that there is a day of judgment. We believe that Allah is the judge, and there are two final destinations, Jannah and Jahannam. Jannah for the one who has not done wrong, and Jahannam is for the one definitely who has done the wrong. And that is why it is called day of judgment. So be careful with that, my brothers and sisters. And this is my humble request to all of you, that Surah An-Nisaa is not only for the second wife, but the fourth wife, it is also for your deen. And please study that, inshallah. And one day definitely, I love this. One day I will bring a complete subject of what is the ruling of having second wife, third wife and fourth wife in Islam. Inshallah, I will bring that. In Allah wa barakatuh, sallu ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim.